Hello and welcome. This is Chrisanne, and today we are going to be making a folio. You may have recalled we made this folio out of one book page. Today we are going to be making a folio, and this one is going to be using a 12 by 12 sheet of paper. And this is how I give my greeting cards to people, or I sell my greeting cards in these. But typically, like Christmas gifts, birthday presents, whatever the case may be, I like to present my cards in a folio. Now, in this video, go back and watch this one if you haven't seen this one. In this video, we made it using one book page, and I get 8 greeting cards and 8 envelopes in this one. In this type, I can fit 10 greeting cards. So it's a little bit different, a little bit more of a wiggle room. So, you know, we all have those products that we're never going to use. And I look at these things like, what am I going to do with this? Well, I have this pad of paper. And you may have seen this in my Hobby Lobby clearance haul video. It was $22.99. I got it for $5.24 for 180 sheets. These are thinner pages, so they're not super thick, but that will still work for my purposes. Now, there was some paper in here, and I looked at it and I thought, oh, what in the world am I going to do with that? That is not my thing, not really something I want to sell. I think it was that one. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's that one. It is that one. I am a very proud pagan. And that being said, that just doesn't resonate with me. But that being said, I do have friends that this will resonate with. So we are going to take this page, rip it right out of my comfort zone, and we are going to use this to make what I hope will be a very appreciated gift. So we are going to make a folio. Let me move this out of my way. We're going to make a folio with this, and then I have some books, some art books that I've taken apart. Well, that really doesn't resonate with me either. It's a very clever, creative piece of art. I can respect that. And I thought, well, theming wise, it kind of matches. And there's a couple other here, so I just have to sort of pick. And I think this is the one that I'm going to pick. So this was a book that I've already taken apart, and I looked at it and thought, okay, well, it's creative, so we'll be using that as well. So we're completely going out of my comfort zone, and that's okay, because I don't have to make everything for my specific tastes, even though I'm the artist. That's not always how art works. So this is a one-sided sheet of paper. Typically when I have something that's a one-sided sheet of paper and the other side is going to be seen, I like to stencil the other side. So I have some Lavinia stamps some Lavinia stencils from Lavinia Stamps. Do not ask me how these have not been used yet, but I found them in my stash and I'm like, oh my goodness, I haven't even touched those. So I think we're going to go with this one, and we are going to stencil the inside and just kind of give it what I like to call visual texture. Lavinia Stamps makes beautiful stamps. They're probably my absolute favorite stamps. And they make some amazing stencils too, obviously. I have my bucket of brushes right here, my stencil brushes, aka makeup brushes from Dollar Tree. And I think we are just going to pull a whole bunch of different colors I denote which color is which by the color washi tape I put on the handle. Does it always stay? No, it doesn't always stay. So sometimes I have brushes floating around here that I know there's a color to it, but the washi tape has come off. But I'm not in the mood to figure that out right now. Okay. I am going to be creating a folio that has a pocket. Let me show you. This is not like a true demo. This is one that I keep in my stash so I understand my basic measurements. So in this case, let me measure this right here. This is 4 1/4-ish that I folded this over. So I know I don't necessarily have to go pretty much beyond this point. This whole area really isn't going to be seen. But we're going to stencil what we stencil. Yes, I have those fancy things that hold my stencils down. Am I using them now? No. I'm using my fancy hands to hold my stencils down. My favorite tool. My brushes always have a ton of ink in them. Let me just show you. It looks like there's nothing there. That's what's there so far. I typically like to work in a swirling pattern. Every once in a while you'll see me kind of stripe it, but mostly I like a swirl pattern. See how pretty that is? It looked like there was nothing there. Fooled you. There's plenty of ink on my brushes. Let's come back in with a little bit of yellow. Let's do a little bit of red. A lot of bit of red. A little bit of blue. Let's move this over. We'll continue the blue. My green and my purple have up and walked away. Do not know where they went to. See how pretty that is? It's super simple, super easy, but very effective. You know what? We're just gonna do a little bit of blue down here. It's not really gonna be seen, but for conversation's sake. There. So makeup brushes, Dollar Tree, a lot cheaper than some of the other places you can get those brushes. So this is my paper. This is what we have so far. I just want to make sure I'm holding it the correct way. The paper is directional. The stenciling is non-directional. I tend to like non-directional stenciling. If you've watched my things before, you see probably 95% of the stencils I use are non-directional for this reason. Now, we are going to fold this up. I sort of like to eyeball it, but I have my little ruler thing right here. This is approximately 4 inches-ish. Since I'm on my grid, let me make sure everything looks fairly straight. And it does for the most part. Let me grab my bone folder. This gives it a really nice crease. Now, I'm not using a scoreboard. I have a scoreboard, but not everybody does. That's why I want to show you how you can make this without a scoreboard. I have a super technical way that I do this. Oh, and I just want to show you. See, we did the stenciling perfect. This, I know, is upside down, but we can cover that later, so don't worry about that. So when I go to do my center spine without a scoreboard, this is how I do it. Oh, also do my trick that I've shown in my other video. hold my scoring blade, my bone folder, and I'm picking this end up and I'm lifting it. Do this end, pick this up. It almost gives it a tinge of a curl. You can see there's a little bit of a curl to it. It makes it so much easier to fold and to bend. I don't know how I figured that trick out, but I did, and I'm so happy. So in order to get this center fold, I line my paper up exactly to the other side. I do not want to crease it or fold it when it's exactly to the other side. I want to back it off about 1/4 of an inch. I'm going to come in, I'm going to pull my bone folder this way, pull my bone folder down that way. I have 1/4 of an inch. Open it up, do the same thing on the other side. Line it up perfectly, and then back it off about 1/4 of an inch. I am eyeballing it. I am not measuring, I am eyeballing. This is a handmade piece of art. Eyeballed. Look. See how simple and easy that was? I'm outside. Everything's blowing away right now. See how simple and easy that is to get that really simple spine to this. How easy is that? Now, the other thing that I like to do is I like to round these corners right here, top and bottom. So I make sure these are lined up. I always use this upside down so I can see what it is I'm doing. If I wanted to come in and do this one, I could do here and then I could do here. It's too complicated because of this, so I'm just gonna leave it as is. If I wanted to come in and give it a little bit of a distress, which actually I do, this is the time I'm gonna do that. I'm of course using Distress Oxide Walnut stain. Kind of line it up. I don't know, it just gives it a little extra oomph. So I like to make Christmas gifts, birthday presents, whatever presents, year-round. I do like to have a stash of gifts at the ready. Mostly these are things that I have made. People kind of expect that at this point from me. You know, it's kind of neat when you're the one that makes. I mean, I have a lot of very creative, very artistic friends, don't get me wrong. But I have to be on my game, you know? So I like to have things at the ready because sometimes unexpected occasions come up or something. Now let's give this, and I'm going a little bit more delicate than I normally do on the inside. I'm just going to come down a little bit there. Let's do that there. Give it a little bit more ink. I just come in a little bit. I don't need a lot. I do this before I assemble it all because I want to ink this up. I'm going to come and do some notch holes, but I'm still going to pre-ink this here. The other thing I'm going to do is pull this back, ink right up like that, open it up, give it a little bit more ink on the inside because that's going to be seen just a little bit. There we go. So you can remember, we folded it up approximately 4 1/4 inches. We folded it, we held it to the full edge, backed it off 1/4, then creased it, turned it around, measured it to be equal, backed it off 1/4 of an inch, then creased it. And that's it. That's all we got. That's so simple. So I am going to come in with my notch punch, and I am not going to do the full notch. I only want a little bit. I think that's too deep for what I'm kind of going for. Eyeball that to make it relatively even. Ha ha ha. There. So now I've got all of that done. Let's give it a glue. So I am using the Art Glitter Glue. And once again, I just can't get mine to keep. Let's see, I haven't tested this before the video. Let me grab something and test this. Oh darn, it's not working. Typical. This is the only thing I don't like about this glue. There, it's coming out a little bit. Okay, I want to glue here, here. I could do a little here if I wanted. Let me move this. So I am going to add just a hair, because that's all it's going to come out, on either side. And then I'm just going to do a little bit right on the center. And I don't need a lot, which is good because a lot's not coming out. I don't know where my pin went. I gotta get more pins for my glue. And that's it. Super simple. So now let's decorate it. And you've probably seen these a million times over the years. So like I said, I have this book that really isn't my thing, but I also have this book, and in this one, this was in one of my dump hauls a while ago. There's a lot of these. Beautiful. Doesn't necessarily resonate with me, but you know what? This will be really cool for the inside. So let's just gingerly tear that out. I'm going to use that for the cover. So I know the inside is 4 by 12, obviously, because I started with a 12 by 12 piece of paper. So let's trim this down. Because these words are a little backwards, I want to give this a little bit of a something. So let's trim this. First of all, this is my flat edge here. And I'm gonna wanna come in as close here because I want to keep this. I want to give this a trim just to make it a straight edge. I know I want this to be 4 inches or under. So I'm going to come in there and cut that at 4, but you know what? I'm going to trim that off. Okay, now I'm going to cut this right in the middle because I want that to be my center point. I'm going to do my best to have that right in the middle. How'd I do? Oh, actually, I did pretty good, if I do say so myself. And I'm going to want to trim these down. So how do I have that? That's 5. Let's make that 5. And let's give it a measure. Oops, there goes my papers. Oh, perfect. That's exactly what I want. Okay, so let's trim this one down 5. Let's move this over here. Now I want to go grab that paper that flew away because that's my cover. And I'm going to trim this in a minute, but I want to put a paper cutter on it. Okay, so I have my two that I want for the inside. I cut it so I don't need to put notches in them. And I think I'm just going to glue it in. So super, super, super simple decoration for this. I know, I'm not using a glue book. I know. I'm careful with my gluing. Now, I'm using a glue stick. I don't know if I'm gonna have to come back later and add some liquid glue. I would maybe, if I'm using this like on a card or something, I would have probably backed it with like black paper or white paper or something to kind of give it a frame. But I don't want to add too much bulk to this because I want to be able to put cards in it. So I am being very mindful of that. And let's see, I want to make sure these are somewhat even. Smidge off, but that's all right. We're going to call that even. There. I did not edge around that with anything. I just kind of like it the way it is. It is. You know, if I wanted to come in and glue some things like this around it, I could certainly do that. It's the back side. I do tend to use a lot of different stripes. I mean, I keep a lot of strips of paper here in my sponge bucket. I could even come in with just some of these if I just wanted to give it a pop. But in this case, I'm okay with this. So let's come and decorate the front. Now this picture that I want to decorate with is much, 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 much bigger than my folio. I'm going to be cutting this down here, and I'm going to keep this because, like I said, I like to keep stripes of things to use in other artwork. So I'm going to be very careful when I'm cutting this down. So let's cut that right there. And see, how cool is that? I'm gonna put that right in my bucket because I will use that. And cut that there. Sometimes it's hard to make gifts for my friends because they watch my videos, which I appreciate, but you know, act surprised. Ooh, I've never seen this before. You know, practice that. Let me just trim that down a little bit. You know, my mother watches my videos and she's like, stop saying what you're giving to me in the videos. I want to be surprised. So we're not telling my mother what I buy her anymore. I just think it's funny. And you know what? I'm going to still use these scraps for labels and, you know, other fun stuff. Actually, look at that. Kind of fits perfectly. Now, in this case, I do have a poor resurrected piece of paper here. And I do want to edge this one. And then when I edge it, yeah, I'm going to have to trim this down a smidge because I do want to edge this one. Okay. I hate to cut some of that pretty stuff off, but I have to. Let's put that in there. This is how I do my very technical measurements. And let's see how we did. Looks good there. It's gonna fit. Oh, yay. It fits. Good. Okay. Now this is such a really super busy paper. I know, look at, I cut that guy out really good, the Orthodox guy, but we're gonna go for the Christian one. That's my executive decision. Because this is super busy 12 by 12 paper to begin with, yeah, see, I didn't line that up right, but we're using glue stick so we can shimmy it. There. I'm gonna add some book page. I could even come in with these pieces that we cut away. Sticks out just a smidge, but that's okay. And I want to ink this. And that's what I mean. I use a lot of my scraps. Let's add a stripe of glue there. Stick that down. And then I'm going to come in and glue the entire back. I will check this in probably a week and see if I need to come back in and add liquid glue. I'm never 100% secure with glue stick for something this large normally, since my other glue is acting up. That is the plan. There. Now, I have, let's see, I have a whole bunch of little decorations here. I have a paper doll in mind that I want to use. Oh, right there at the top. Look at that. Look at that. I did not plan that. I don't use that one on other things. So I figured, oh, let me use it on this. Let's add some other little decorations. Like that one. Ooh, I kind of like that. Kind of like an angel wing. All right, let's start with these and see where we go. Okay, so I want this one here with them there. Oh, I kind of wanted that up there. I'm gonna cut it down. Okay, I'm gonna put the angel wing there. We're gonna tuck that right there. No, that needs more. It's missing something. I don't know. Let's look. You know, as soon as I'm done the project, I'll find the perfect, the perfect little piece. What do we think? You like that one better? All right, good choice. It's a little busy, but yet, I don't know. I'll think of a pop of something else to add. Let's edge these. And you're gonna have to help me remember where I had all these things to put them back. You know, I have all these little pieces. I want to use them. Okay. So this one went at the top. All right, we'll put that one there. This one went below it. Kind of offset it a smidge. Now, if I wanted to come in and add like a ribbon tie closure, I could have tucked it under that and put one. I'm not going to add a ribbon closure on this. Black glue. There we go. There's that part. Now let's do down here. This is pretty decent glue, the Scotch Create. I've been relatively happy with it. I'm going to ink this up, but I'm not going to put it down until I get those little dolls. And the same thing with the roses. Let's kind of tuck the roses there. This says florists or something. All right, I think that's it. So we're going to be doing some card videos in the future, but this is obviously cards, and I do the cards and the envelopes. So if I'm doing 4 cards, 5 cards, I do the cards and the envelopes together. Stack of cards, then the stack of envelopes behind it. But that's our 12 by 12 folio. If you want to beef up this edge, since this is a finer paper, a thinner paper, you can come in with some washi tape and just put that right along the seam. I would glue it down. That will sort of give it a little bit more structure. In this case, I don't need a ton of structure. We have a lot of things on the front that are giving really good structure, things on the inside giving really good structure, and I didn't cover the inside. So there's our really, really, really simple, easy, affordable 12 by 12 folio. I hope you had fun crafting along with me on this one. Take care and be free.